I realized something was very wrong when I blew out the candles on my 30th birthday cake alone in my kitchen, the flames flickering like they were mocking me, because for the 5th straight year there were no gifts, no calls, nothing from my family, and yet just an hour earlier I had accidentally seen my sister's Instagram story of a surprise weekend trip she'd been given that easily cost more than I made in a month. I'm not proud of what I did next, and I need you to tell me honestly, was I wrong for finally snapping after being invisible for so long, or would you have done the same thing in my place? Let me rewind, because this didn't start 5 years ago. It started my entire life ago. I'm the older sister, the responsible one, the one who learned early that if I didn't handle things myself, nobody else would. My sister Lily is 3 years younger than me, and from the moment she was born, she was magic to my parents. I don't say that bitterly, at least not at first. She was beautiful in that effortless way, with big eyes and a laugh that made strangers smile. I was quieter, bookish, the kid who colored inside the lines and followed rules, because I thought that was how you earned love. When we were little, the favoritism was subtle enough that I could explain it away. Lily needed more attention. Lily was more sensitive. Lily was just younger. As we grew up, the gap widened. If Lily forgot her homework, my mom would rush it to school. If I forgot mine, it was a lesson in responsibility. When Lily wanted piano lessons, my parents found the money. When I wanted to join a debate club that required travel fees, I was told it was impractical. Birthdays were where it hurt the most, even as a kid. Lily's parties were events. Themes, bounce houses, custom cakes. Mine were small family dinners with a single present, usually something practical. I learned to smile and say thank you, because that's what good daughters do. By the time I left for college, I had internalized the idea that I wasn't supposed to need much. I worked part-time, took out loans, and didn't complain. Lily stayed closer to home, went to a private college my parents helped pay for, and called them almost daily. I called too, but conversations with me were short and functional. How are classes? Do you need money? Okay, good, love you, bye. With Lily, it was laughter, long talks, plans. I noticed it, but I told myself it would even out once we were adults. Then came my 26th birthday, the first of the 5 that would eventually break me. I had just moved into a tiny apartment in a new city for work. I wasn't expecting a party, but I thought at least my parents would call. The day passed. I checked my phone more times than I want to. Admit, nothing. At around 10 p.m., my mom texted, "Oh my gosh, I just realized it's your birthday. Hope it was good. Love you." No call, no gift. Lily didn't even text. I cried that night quietly, telling myself it was a fluke. The next year I braced myself. Surely they wouldn't forget again. They did. No text until the next day. Lily posted photos that same week of a shopping trip my parents took her on just because. I felt stupid for being hurt. Like maybe adulthood meant birthdays didn't matter anymore. Except they clearly still mattered for Lily. Year 3 was worse, because I reminded them. I mentioned my birthday casually a week before when I was on the phone with my dad. He laughed and said, "Oh, right. You're coming up on another one." The day arrived. Silence. Finally called my mom that evening, my voice shaking, and she said, "We thought you were busy. You're so independent we didn't want to bother you." Independent. That word became the knife they twisted without realizing it. Because Lily wasn't independent, she was cherished. By year 4, I stopped expecting anything. I told myself I didn't care, but caring isn't something you can turn off like a switch. I watched from a distance as Lily's life was celebrated constantly. Promotions, anniversaries, random Tuesdays. My parents paid for her destination birthday trip that year and posted photos with captions about how proud they were of their baby girl. I felt like a ghost. Year 5, this year, I tried something different. I didn't remind anyone. I wanted to see if they'd remember on their own. I bought myself a small cake after work, the kind with too much frosting, because if no one else was going to celebrate me, I would at least try. I lit the candles, sang quietly to myself, and blew them out. That's when my phone buzzed. Not a message to me, but a notification that Lily had posted a story. I shouldn't have opened it. I really shouldn't have. There she was, laughing, champagne in hand, standing in front of a luxury hotel. The caption read, "I can't believe this. Best surprise ever. Thank you, Mom and Dad. 5-star weekend getaway. Spa treatments. A designer bag she unboxed on camera." My chest felt tight, like I couldn't get enough air. I scrolled through more clips. Each one a reminder that while I was blowing out candles alone, my parents were actively celebrating her, on my birthday, without a second thought for me. Something in me snapped. So that's the situation I was in, staring at my phone with tears streaming down my face, feeling smaller and more invisible than I ever had before. Before I tell you what I did next, I want you to pause for a second and really think about it. If you were me, 5 years of being forgotten, watching blatant favoritism play out again and again, what would you have done? Would you have stayed quiet to keep the peace? Or would you have finally said something? Consequences be damned. I didn't scream. I didn't send an angry text. What I did was almost worse, depending on who you ask. I took screenshots of Lily's stories. All of them. Then I opened our family group chat, the one that was usually filled with Lily's updates and my parents' heart emojis, and I typed, "Hey, hope you're all having a great weekend. Just wanted to say happy birthday to me. 5th year in a row without a call. But I'm glad. Lily's surprise trip is going well." My finger hovered over send for a full minute. I was shaking. Then I hit it. The chat went silent. For hours. I went to bed feeling sick, convinced I'd gone too far, that I was being petty and cruel. In the morning, there were messages. My dad wrote first, "This feels unnecessary and hurtful." My mom followed with, "We didn't mean to forget, you know we love you. There's no need to be jealous." Jealous. That word hurt almost as much as independent. Lily finally chimed in with, "Wow, I didn't ask for this. Don't ruin my trip with your drama." Something shifted in me then, a cold clarity replacing the hurt. I realized that no matter how carefully I spoke, no matter how long I stayed quiet, my feelings would always be an inconvenience to them. So I replied calmly, "I'm not jealous. I'm hurt. There's a difference. And I'm done pretending this doesn't affect me." That set off a chain reaction. My mom called me, crying, saying she felt attacked. My dad said families don't keep score. Lily unfollowed me on social media. For a few weeks, things were tense. I second-guessed myself constantly. Maybe I should have just let it go. Maybe birthdays really didn't matter. But then something unexpected happened. My aunt, my mom's sister, reached out to me privately. She said she'd seen the messages and wanted to apologize for not noticing sooner. She told me she'd always thought my parents relied on me too much. Assumed I was fine because I didn't ask for help. Hearing that from someone else cracked something open in me. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't overreacting. I decided to take a step back. I stopped initiating contact. I muted the family chat. For the first time in my life, I prioritized my own peace over their comfort. It was lonely at first, I won't lie, but it was also freeing. A month later, my mom asked if we could talk. We met for coffee. She looked older somehow, tired. She said she'd been thinking about what I said. She admitted, haltingly, that they leaned on the idea of me being strong to excuse neglecting me. It wasn't a full apology, but it was something. Lily didn't apologize. She still thinks I overreacted, and maybe in her version of the story I did. But here's the aftermath. No one warns you about when you finally stand up for yourself. The world doesn't end. People don't automatically understand. Some relationships don't survive. But you get to breathe again. My parents have called on my last 2 birthdays since then. No big gifts, no trips, but a call, a card, acknowledgement. It's not perfect, but it's progress. Looking back now, I wish it hadn't taken me 30 years to say something. I wish I'd learned earlier that being the easy child often means being the invisible one. If there's a moral here, it's that your feelings don't become invalid just because someone else has it better. And silence doesn't always equal strength. Sometimes it's just fear. If you think I was right to finally speak up like this video, if you think I was wrong, tell me why in the comments. Subscribe for more stories like this, and share your final thoughts on this whole mess below. I'll see you all in the next story.